Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Harkaval Singh, and actually I'm a native Arizonan. I was born and raised here, and I'm also a Sikh American. The entire Sikh congregation would like to welcome you to our home today. This is our place of worship, and we sincerely are grateful to you for taking the time to come here on such a hot summer day. I think, 110, 115? And we really appreciate the effort that you guys made. So the Sikh religion was founded by Guru Nanak in the Punjab region of India roughly 500 years ago. His message was that all people are created equal and we should exercise tolerance and respect for people of all backgrounds and faiths. He exemplified true interfaith acceptance at a time and place where this was not the convention. He did not attempt to convert followers of other faiths, but rather he urged them to explore their inner meanings of their own religious philosophies and beliefs. In essence, he felt that the various spiritual paths were like the different spokes on a wheel. They all led to the same center, which is a fundamental truth. He was therefore opposed to the idea that Sikhs or anyone else could consider themselves spiritually superior to any other group. Thus, it follows that Sikhs do not attempt to convert adherents of other faiths. In fact, the Guru Granth Sahib, which is our holy book, that you see us bowing down to as we enter, actually contains writings of wise thinkers of other faiths, in addition to the writings of our own leaders and spiritual leaders, the Sikh Gurus. For us, the writings that are contained in this holy book are the embodiment of spiritual wisdom. The Sikh religion's commitment to equality and justice is cemented in our Sikh identity. The turban, which covers a Sikh's uncut hair, is a representation of these values. As such, the turban is a Sikh's crown and an article of faith that represents our beliefs in equality, freedom, and justice for all. I'd like to share some basic information about the Sikh faith. Sikhism, you may not know, is the 5th largest religion in the world and the world's 3rd largest monotheistic faith. We believe in an omnipresent, formless God whom we commonly refer to as Waheguru. We regard men and women as equal in all spheres of life. The concept of gender equality is a central tenet of the Sikh faith. Sikh women can lead prayer service and participate in every aspect of life equal to men. We also believe in equality amongst all human beings, regardless of their race or caste. And the freedom to choose and practice religion freely is at the foundation of Sikhism. We believe there are many paths to God and many avenues to seek truth. We are expected to perform selfless service, which we call Seva, and we're expected to share with those who are less fortunate than ourselves. And just to let you know, 99% of turban-wearing Americans that you may see are Sikh, and it represents the turban that is our commitment to protect and stand up for the values of equality and justice for all. A little information about the Gurdwara, the prayer hall that we're sitting in today. Gurdwaras like the one we're sitting in today were founded as places where the Sangat, or the Sikh religious congregation, could come together as a community to worship. We do this worship by reciting and reflecting upon the hymns contained in the Guru Granth Sahib, our holy scripture book. People from all walks of life are welcome to attend or observe our religious services in the Gurdwara. The Sikh religious service is centered on the singing of these hymns, and we call this kirtan, and it ends with us sharing a meal together as a community called langar. As you will notice, the kirtan, or the singing of the hymns, is traditionally accompanied by a harmonium, which you see here, which is an accordion-like keyboard instrument, and drums, Indian drums, which are called tablas, which you can see there. The Guru Granth Sahib, or Sikh scripture, is the embodiment of spiritual authority for our faith. As such, we bow down to it as the Word of God. The palki, or canopy above the holy book, signifies respect of its authority, and this practice is actually rooted in traditional treatment of kings in India. Likewise, the chor, or the flowing whisk that you see the gentleman waving, it's waved over the Guru Granth Sahib to indicate its sovereignty. And at the end of the service, before the community meal is eaten, we also share with you Kara Prasad, which is a service of sweet pudding, and it's offered to all and eaten as an acceptance of the sweetness of God's word. So I'd like to now introduce Angeline Kaur, who's a Sikh awareness advocate and has been very active in helping to put this event together. So I'll ask her to come up, please.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So when we first put this event into our heads, putting together an open house, we thought maybe we'll get 20 or 30 people to attend. So I am so thrilled to see this room full of people who are wanting to learn and experience the Sikh faith. So thank you all for attending our open house today. We're very fortunate to have many special guests with us today as well. So I want to take a minute to recognize them. Please stand and remain standing as I call your name. Paul Penzone, Maricopa County Sheriff. Anna Armendariz, Senator John McCain staff. Kate Gallardo, Phoenix Council member. Sorry about that. Deborah Stark, Phoenix Council member. Ryan Winkle, Mesa Council member. Benjamin Graff, Water Conservation Board. Philip Mariner, Detective and Civic Liaison at the Phoenix Police Department. Minnie Hernandez, Sergeant at the Phoenix Police Department. Chris Averill, Detective at the Phoenix Police Department. Marshall Franklin, Director of Community Affairs, Phoenix Police Department. Tom Myers, Lieutenant at the Scottsdale Police Department. Chris Vassell, Community Liaison at the at the Scottsdale Police Department. Rabbi Jeremy Schneider, Immediate Past President of the Board of Rabbis of Greater Phoenix. Lieutenant Colonel Wade Webb, Assistant Director, Arizona Department of Public Safety, and Barry Wong, Executive Director, Governor's Office of Equal Opportunity. Thank you so much. So, in addition to these dignitaries, we're honored to have a few guest speakers. Our first speaker is Phoenix Mayor Greg Stanton. Mayor Stanton has been a big advocate for the Sikh religion. Last year, he signed a Vaisakhi proclamation celebrating and recognizing the contribution of Sikhs in our Phoenix community. Mayor Stanton, may I please ask you to come to the podium? Thank you.
Thank you so much. It is my honor to be here representing myself and Councilman Kay Gallego, I think Deborah Stark, there she is in the back, representing the Phoenix City Council, to be here on this beautiful National Day of Community Outreach that the Sikh community has been kind enough to do, to invite myself and so many members of the community. I mean, this Sikh community representing the values of equality and being kind to everyone, treating everyone as equal. I think we need more Sikhs need to run for public office, please. We could use those values in our city, in our state, right now. And we are blessed in our city. I signed the proclamation last year because I've seen firsthand how blessed we are to have so many members of the Sikh community in Phoenix, in the Valley of the Sun. 5,000 or 6,000, maybe growing at a very, very fast pace. 500,000, maybe 600,000 across the United States of America, and we are a better city and a better country because of the presence of so many in the Sikh community, and I've been blessed to see it firsthand. I work with a lot of different people as mayor of the city of Phoenix, and when I have a chance to interact with the Sikh community, I'm inspired because the community cares so much, not just about other members of the Sikh community, but also about the community as a whole. So many charitable acts, roll up the sleeves, get involved in the community, knowing that on occasion, too often, the Sikh community is misunderstood, and people have sometimes stereotypes, sometimes negative stereotypes, and those are handled with such dignity and grace and class by members of the Sikh community. At least that's my experience. And of course, after the tragic murder of Balbir Singh Sodhi after 9/11, there was a lot of tension in the Sikh community. How would they respond? And what I saw was just incredible in terms of the grace and class and forgiveness and love. Thank you so much. Love that was shown by the sick community. And it taught me and so many other members of the community important lessons about how we should treat our fellow human beings. And I'm so glad to be here. Last time I was here was unfortunately after the tragedy in the sick community in Wisconsin. We had a beautiful prayer session right here and a beautiful meal in the hall afterwards. And unfortunately I haven't been back since. And I'm so glad that you invited me and leaders in the City of Phoenix community to be here for this National Day of Community Outreach. And so it's incumbent upon all of us, sick community members or not, to be ambassadors and to let our community know what a beautiful faith this is, what beautiful people are members of the sick community, and that hate has no place in our community. And I know the sick community better than anyone else understands that they've been victimized by hate and have always responded with love. And I'm inspired by that. So thank you for having me here today. Thank you for opening up this beautiful building for the entire community so we can celebrate the sick community here in the city of Phoenix. Have a beautiful day.
Sorry, I'm vertically challenged here. Thank you, Mayor Stanton. And I also just want to add in that Mayor Stanton's team has been big advocates of the We Are Six campaign and has been sharing it publicly and widely on their social media. So thank you so much for that. Next, we'll have the Vice Mayor of Scottsdale, Suzanne Clapp, come up and speak. And I also want to share that Mayor Jim Lane of Scottsdale also signed a Misaki proclamation last year celebrating and recognizing this, the work of Six in the Scottsdale community.
I'm very honored to be here representing the City of Scottsdale and the City Council. I have to admit that I know very little about the Sikh faith, but I did look up some things to familiarize myself with what you believe in, and all of it is exactly what I believe in. So we have a lot of common ground. I understand that your major tenets are equality and freedom and love, and who couldn't support that? So from my Christian community, I hope that we always support that, but I know we do not always. I also know that you have made a concerted effort, apparently in the last year, to try to familiarize the community with your faith and what you believe in, and I think that this event ceremony here today is a good testament to the fact that you're succeeding. And so you have at least enlightened me. You've helped me better understand what you are about and to better be able to communicate to other people about what you're about. So that is a great learning experience for me. And I'm very grateful that I'm able to be here and understand exactly how passionate you feel about equality and community. So from the citizens of Scottsdale, and specifically from the City Council, and here representing the Mayor, Jim Lane, I'm so very happy that you've invited me. It's a little bit of a challenge for me to get up and down, I have to tell you that. I'm not used to having to sit down and get up and be able to do that on a moment's notice. But other than that, I feel very comfortable being here among you. And thank you so much for the welcome you've given to me. And I should also note that, interestingly enough, the gentleman who talked to me outside and brought me in is actually my neighbor who I've never met. We live in the same community in Scottsdale called Scottsdale Mountain, and he was very, very close to me. So thank you to Parminder Singh for getting me a little bit more acclimated to what would be going on today. So thank you so much.
When we said come out and meet your neighbor, we literally meant come out and meet your neighbor. Our next speaker is Congressman David Schweikart, who represents the 6th District, which includes most of northern Phoenix, Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, and Cave Creek. So if I could request Congressman Stryker to come up. Oh, and his beautiful daughter.
It is a joy to be here. She is very, very excited. She loves to pull on beards. And looking around the room, it's full of opportunities. I may have somewhat of a unique relationship with the Sikh community. And tell me if I'm about 20 some years ago, 4 huge Sikh gentlemen, I've always said, saved my life. I was in Jaipur heading to Rajasthan. I was in Rajasthan heading to Jaisalmer. And I was being thrown out of a sleeper car. And these 4 gentlemen, who were all military, but they were going on holiday, came in, took pity on me, explained that I did have the ticket, and then I spent the next 3 days with them. Some of the most fun I've ever had in my life. How do I say this pleasantly? The pasty white kid from Scottsdale, hanging out with these mountain, these officers in the Indian military, and showed me part of Rajasthan, part of Jaisalmer that I would have never seen. Until this day, 2 of them are still my friends on Facebook. And I think when you've had that sort of intimate personal experience, when you spend 3 days sleeping in the same room with a number of gentlemen, you become friends. And you also realize I'm really bad at tying turbans. And I tried over and over. But from a policy standpoint, also as a member of Congress, I am the person who had introduced the legislation several years ago to make it clear that traditional headwear can be worn in the U.S. military. And you see how far we've come now in the understanding of that. It is, can I beg of you for what you're doing right now? You're doing something incredibly important, incredibly honorable. The community needs to understand the incredible love and uniqueness of your faith. And it's more than, I see a handful of people here, the gentlemen here that have been friends for a long time. We all, those of us who care, those of you who want to tell your story, we all need to do more of this to explain the uniqueness and the elegance. Because you must admit there's amazing elegance of this faith, and we need to go tell that story. Thank you for letting me have my wife and my little girl here. This is special for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman, and thank you so much for supporting Sikhs in our armed forces today. Next, we have Senator Kate Brophy McGee. She represents District 28, which includes Paradise Valley, parts of Scottsdale, and North Phoenix. And many of you may remember her because Senator Brophy McGee just this past April signed and read the Visaki Proclamation on the Senate floor here in Arizona.
Good morning. It is an honor and a privilege to be here. A little bit of a personal story. I'm a 3rd generation Arizona, and I grew up in Bisbee and Tucson, moved to Phoenix 30 some odd years ago when I met and married my husband. And the Sikh community has always been a part of our story. We were bankers and found this community to be extremely industrious, hardworking, bright, professional entrepreneurs, always seeking to better themselves. It was an honor and a privilege to work with Angeline, who is indeed a lioness, to put together the resolution honoring Visaki and read it on the floor of the Senate this last session. My intention this upcoming session is to spread that wonderful word and those that impactful message to the House and to the governor's office and tell your story. It was one of the most amazing events I have ever been involved in my life as a legislator. Your community exemplifies the high ideals that we as Americans aspire to. Love of family, love of country, love of faith, loyalty, honor, all the things, all of those aspirations that if we just followed through on them, we truly would be the greatest country in the world, even more. I enjoy working with your community. I so appreciate your contributions, small and large, to the tapestry that is Phoenix and the state that is Arizona. And on behalf of the Arizona State Senate, House, and the Governor's Office, I thank you. Thank you for this beautiful invitation.
Thank you, Senator Brophy-McGee, for being a big advocate of our community and sharing our message. Next up is Reverend Larry Foltz, who's Executive Director of the Arizona Interfaith Movement.
Remember correctly.
Reverend Larry Foltz, if I could ask you to... I see you're wearing our colors today.
I am. Hello. I am really honored to be here today. About 20 years ago, I came into contact with a gentleman by the name of Dr. Sockdale. I knew nothing about the Sikh religion, about their faith, but you cannot be around Dr. Sockdale very long and not know something and learn quickly, because this is one of the greatest ambassadors of the Sikh religion in the world, I believe. And then I met Rana and his family and so many other beautiful Sikh people in this community. And I can say it's been a really joy for me to be a participant in all of your events, inviting me to these colorful times. I'm always impressed by your ministry and service of Seva. I've watched you do this. I've even videotaped it. But most of all, the one that is the signature event in my life is your longar meal that you provide for us at our moment of experience interfaith, and it's always a beautiful event. I thank you for inviting me here tonight. I agree with you, Mayor. We are a better community because the Sikh community is with us. And Senator, I would say that you would agree with me. We're a better country because of all the 600 plus Sikh community members that are with us. You give us something that we need desperately in this country. And that's the understanding of how to love one another, to talk civilly to one another, to respect one another. And as a member of the Arizona Interfaith Movement, you are one of our vibrant members that we cherish. Thank you for inviting me here. God bless you. Make this a wonderful event.
Thank you so much, Reverend, for those kind words. And our last speaker is Miriam Wiseman, National Chair of Education at the ADL.
I'm also vertically challenged. Thank you so much for inviting us here today. I thank my good friend Rana and Suki for having us and for being our friends. We met Rana through misfortune when his brother was killed. And ADL reached out to Rana, and instead of being bitter, he became even more of a messenger of peace. And he has spoken for ADL all over the country, and he has done so much to spread that peace and love. You know, Rabbi Hillel in the Jewish religion had said that if I am not for myself, who will be for me? If I am only for myself, who am I? If not now, when? So I think what you're doing to me feels like you're building community across all of us. And so that I thank you so much, all of you, for opening your doors and telling us about your beautiful religion. And the way to build community is to break down all the walls. So thank you so much again. Thank you to all of our hosts here, and to, of course, Rana and Suki, and thank you all.
Thank you so much. So when I said that was our last speaker, sorry, that's different. And we just, I wanted to add Sheriff Paul Pinzone, if you would like to say a few words. I think our community would love to hear you speak. Sorry to put you on the spot.
Obviously, my height is not vertically challenged. First, my wife Veronica and I would like to thank you for allowing us to be honored in your presence today. This is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. For me, my first exposure to your community, unfortunately, was due to tragedy. I was the coordinator of the Silent Witness program with the Phoenix Police Department when a member of your community was murdered. And I would tell you that in tragedy, oftentimes we can build relationships and become stronger, although our hearts are heavy and we suffer great loss. It gives us an opportunity to truly come together to understand that during those trying times, we truly are one big community with many unique cultures. So through that experience for me and many others, I had the chance to visit in homes of families who had unfortunately suffered from some form of crime or violence. And to come here with you today, and then actually our friendship really grew in 2012 when I began to run for this office. And my passion was to bring back an office that gave respect to the community, that gave service, that was compassionate. And that is the friendship that you showed me from the very first day that I had the chance to get to know more about you as individuals as much as a community. And I don't think there's any greater show of strength than to have a peaceful, loving, kind heart. And this community displays that every day. So to have a chance to be a friend, to know you better, and to serve you is truly a great honor for me. And I would call you to just ask that as we go through this process, especially from a law enforcement perspective, that you educate us, that you help us, because I truly want the office that I represent to be one that is understanding of all cultures, that is supportive and compassionate, that is strong with a peaceful, loving heart. And there's no greater mentor for us to learn that than through you. So I look forward to our relationship growing and to having a partnership in this effort to make it better for these beautiful children that we see in this room and throughout our community that come from all different cultures. So again, my wife Veronica and I are honored to be here with you. Thank you so much, but thank you for the love, compassion, and that quiet strength that you display all the time throughout your life, because it is truly an example for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sheriff. That means a lot to us in our community. And then our last speaker will be Phoenix Councilwoman Kate Gallardo. If we could have you come up. Thank you.
Thank you so much for welcoming all of us from the city of Phoenix, but we wanted to offer a specific thanks for the great partnership with our police department. Sheriff Pinzone alluded to that some of these partnerships have come through more difficult times, but we really have gotten a lot of national praise for our relationship and particularly the Sikh Community Advisory Board. So I want to thank Marshall Franklin, who leads that effort, and thank all of you for participating. Hopefully it has contributed to creating a safer, more welcoming community. And for those who are interested in that advisory board, the next meeting is coming up on the 25th of this month. On a personal note, I have a lot of friends and family, a lot of friends here who have helped welcome my new baby and many other personal milestones. And I've just enjoyed you welcoming all of us from the City Council at great community events. Even the Arizona Diamondbacks played better when it was the Sikh Community Day, so maybe we'll have to have that day every week and it'll be the real key to success. It's been a wonderful day, and I appreciated all the educational efforts leading up to this event, the beautiful tours, and just how welcoming the planning committee has been. So thank you so much to the planning committee for the wonderful effort and for having us. Thanks.
So just to conclude the speaking part of the program, I would like to thank all of our guests for joining us here today, from young to old. And I'd like to extend a special thanks to our speakers who took the time up here to come and spend the day with us, and all of the volunteers that put in countless hours to make this open house a success. And the goal of this open house was really to help change perceptions for our future generations. I have 2 small boys, and really that's my passion for doing this, is making the world a better place for them, and so they feel protected like any other mom would want to do. So we'll conclude the service with a hymn called Nansad, followed by a prayer called Ardas, for which we will all stand, and then a reading from our holy scripture, the Guru Granth Sahib, as Harry mentioned. We'll then distribute sweet pudding called prashad and move to the hall across the breezeway for langar. So you've heard people talk about langar, and people do like the food here. So langar is a community meal served at the end of every Sikh service. We all sit on the floor side by side and receive and eat food together. And that's really a symbol of equality. So that was a radical gesture that was developed at a time when social rules kept the rich and the poor separate in daily activity. So by putting them all in the same place, together at the same level and eating together, it took away that kind of social status. So for those of you that have food allergies, before you eat the prashad or langar, please make sure you consult with a volunteer. We want to make sure that everyone is healthy today. Also, for those interested in experiencing what it feels like to wear a turban, we do have turban tying that will be going on during langar in one of the rooms. So everyone is welcome to get a turban tied on them, and then you get to take the turbans home as well. And we also have a photo booth there, so we encourage everyone to join for that. It's only by taking the time and effort to get to know one another that we learn about our neighbors and community. We hope that by attending this open house, you learn more about your Sikh neighbors, and that we share the same great American values of equality and justice. We sincerely thank you for joining us here today and commend your contributions to strengthen our society in creating mutual respect.
मानस की जात सब है एक पहचान वो करता करीम सोई राजक रहीम ओही दूसरों ना भेद कोई भूल परम मान बो सो कौटल गुर सेविए अहनिस सहज सुभाए दर्श
What was your favorite dish? Let me think.
I love the yogurt.
Yogurt, okay.
I also love this pudding.
Pudding, yes.
But with my diet, everything was great.
Excellent.
The rice,
excellent.
The vegetables,
excellent.
Everything was good.
That's very good.
Thank you.
What did you like most? The pudding, oh, of course, you're close to it. How about you, ma'am? What did you like?
I like the lentils and
To cool it out. Is it too spicy? Maybe? Oh, okay.
it's good.
It's good, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Hi.
Hi.
What was your favorite food?
I would have to say this.
That, okay. The pudding.
And I'm Italian, so I know a lot about food.
Yes.
And the rice was very good, but the custard was my favorite.
Awesome, awesome.
I loved it.
How would you conclude your overall experience?
It was beautiful, and it was enjoying to meet so many wonderful people. I didn't know a lot about the Sikh community.
Right.
And Scottsdale PD is welcoming to the Sikh community, and we would love for you to come and learn more about us, and we would like to learn more about you.
Yeah, definitely.
So we thank you so much for your invitation today, and hope that we get together very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. Okay, and what was your favorite food?
I enjoyed everything.
Everything. Awesome. Yeah, you're like me. So good to have you. Bring it.
We do Indian food at least once a week.
Oh, you do?
Well, I cook more Southern Indian.
Oh, you do? So like what do you cook?
Well, I've taken cooking classes in Trivandrum.
Right.
In Southern India. So I do more dosas.
You can make dosas?
Of course.
Wow. Like do you do the batter also?
Oh yeah. Well, I cheat. Sometimes you get a mix, but sometimes you do it just the raw flour.
You know, my wife from South India, she grew up in Hyderabad.
You see, up until a few years ago, we had shirt-tail relatives in Gurdwara.
Oh, okay.
So just next to Hyderabad.
So I'm grew up from Punjab, so I didn't know anything about the South Indian cuisine, but now I love her food because she makes.
Oh no, we'll be able. Yeah, it is very different though.
Nice.
And most Americans have only had Punjabi food.
Right, North India mostly.
They've never had sort of
the southern. Yeah, exactly.
So
that's awesome.
And my teacher was Krishna, so she wouldn't even use garlic and onion.
Oh yeah. So yeah, they are very strict on certain, the root thing.
So, do you want to try some dessert? Okay,
So, ma'am, what was your favorite food? What did you like most?
I like the beans.
Do you like the beans? Okay.
Rice.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.